Good evening and welcome to this session of the live virtual classes organized by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Today, we are going to see a new topic called Management and Administration. It's called Management and Administration. In those days, we used to call it Meetings and Procedures. Meetings and Procedures. Basically, the management of the affairs of a company invariably happens at the meetings, because company is an artificial person, has no brain, has no life. So all decisions of the company are taken by the members or by the board of directors. All decisions of the company are taken either by the members at general meeting or by the board of directors at the board meeting. So the entire rules and regulations relating to this is contained in chapter 7. They call it management and administration. Right? So from 96 to 122, we'll be talking about meetings, various rules and regulations relating to meetings. Then there are some topics on registers and returns, which I will not be covering, but which are available, pure theory part, where you have to what are the registers and all to be maintained. Today, we are going to see in depth about the important topics relating to meetings, like what is meeting, what are the types of meetings, what are the rules for the various types of meetings, then common topics like notice, quorum, proxy, business, special and ordinary resolution, special notice. All this we'll be seeing today. This is very, very important from knowledge point of view, as well as future perspective. Yes, because all said and done, as an auditor, statutory auditor, and chartered accountant in practice or in service as a CFO, you would be actively engaged in these activities. For example, if there is an annual general meeting, there will be a lot of activities for the CFO or the chartered accountant. The auditor, of course, will sign it. And as an auditor, you have to attend to the meeting, etc., etc. So it is necessary for us to understand what are the rules relating to AGM, EGM, etc. So basically, there are 3 types of meetings. You have board meetings, meaning where the board of directors meet and take decisions, board meetings, where only the board of directors meet and take decision. Then you have general meetings, which is what we'll be seeing today, where members meet, like equity shareholders meet, preference shareholders meet. That is called members meeting. Mostly when we say general meeting, we always mean, unless otherwise stated, we mean meeting of equity shareholders. Meeting of equity shareholders. Because if it is going to be a meeting of preference shareholders, it will strictly speaking come under class meeting. Because preference shareholders are one class of shareholders, one class of members. So when they have a separate meeting to discuss affecting matters, when they have a separate meeting to discuss matters which are affecting them, it is called class meeting. Similarly, when the creditors meet, creditors meeting, usually for filing insolvency petition, for filing a winding up petition, there will be a class meeting. Either all the creditors will come, or a class of creditors. For example, only secured creditors may come. Whatever it is. When the meetings of class meetings are also possible, but generally the rules relating to general meetings will apply to class meetings with suitable modifications. It will apply. For general meetings, we have said now the number of on a poll for an equity shareholder, 1 share, 1 vote. Now, for a creditor, it can't be 1 share only. So it will be 1 rupee, 1 vote. Which means if you are a creditor and another person is the creditor, A is creditor, B is creditor. A having 4 lakhs due, B having 6 lakhs due. Then when they are voting, A will be getting 4 lakh votes, B will be getting 6 lakh votes. Or their decision will be like 4:6. So which means 6 lakh wala will always have majority, value-wise. That is how corporate democracy works, my dear friends. I already mentioned this to you when we were talking share capital. This 1 man, 1 vote does not work in company meetings. Initially, for convenience, If there is no problem, you can have one man, one vote, raising show of hands. Voting by show of hands. When all of you, only those members in person will raise the hand. Proxy cannot vote on show of hands. So the minute a poll is demanded, the story will change. One share, one vote, which means even a proxy can vote on a poll. We'll see that later, but I'm just telling you. So it is very important to understand the intricacy of these rules and regulations, because if any of these are not complied with, then the meeting is invalid. Okay. If the meeting is invalid, then the decision taken at that meeting, that is the ordinary or special resolution, which was passed at that meeting, is invalid, will have no effect. Any action taken on that basis is ultra vires the directors. The directors may sometimes even be, they can be proceeded against for negligence. Luckily for us, we as chartered accountants will not be directly responsible. Who will have to take the full responsibility, etc., etc. But if the company is not having a company secretary, directors have to do it. Who will advise them? CFO. So they may rely on you for advice. Therefore, it is necessary for you to know this. First, we will deal with general meetings. Board meetings will not be taught in this syllabus because it comes in your final syllabus. It is in a different chapter altogether. Board meetings of boards and their powers. It's a separate topic. It's not in the syllabus. It will come in your final. When you will be doing a self-paced module, that it will come. Your economic, corporate and economic laws, you'll be studying it on your own when you come to final level. Here, we are only going to talk about mainly, sorry. Here, we are only going to talk about general meetings. Now, general meetings, there are two. AGM. You have heard of this now. Many times you are referred to AGM. Annual General Meeting. This is compulsory. We will be seeing that every company should have one annual general meeting every year, with some few exceptions. AGM compulsory. Every year, every company should have an AGM. No option. With one or two rare exceptions, all companies should have an AGM. And the items of agenda, we call business. The items of agenda, the matters to be discussed are called business. So the business to be routinely transacted, the business to be routinely done at AGM are given. They are called ordinary business. But every AGM, it has to be done. Any other matter will have to be taken up. That's called special business. We'll see that a little later. Okay. Suppose in the meantime, you want to pass a special resolution. For example, sometime in, let us say, November, AGM has already been held. The company wants to change its registered office from the state of Gujarat to Maharashtra. No problem. You're welcome to do that. As you know, for doing that, you have to amend your memorandum, you have to pass a special resolution, etc. So all that you have to do now. When you will do, you have to do it at a general meeting. AGM already over. So whenever the board wants, they can hold any number of extraordinary general meetings. Extraordinary general meeting, not compulsory. If you don't want to have, don't have. But if you want to have. It is enabling. When I need the approval of the shareholders or prior approval of the shareholders, AGM is already over. So in between two AGMs, if I need to do something, I will have extraordinary general meeting, popularly known as EGM. So I may abbreviate, or when I talk, I may say AGM, EGM. What I mean? Annual General Meeting. Extraordinary General Meeting. Extraordinary means not usual. Something special, different. Extraordinary General Meeting. Okay. So, EGM. But the subject which will be done there is not something extraordinary subject. It is a routine matters only, but except that we are not doing at the AGM. in which case the meeting where we are doing is the AGM. We will see the rules relating to AGM, annual general meeting, AGM. You might ask me, in the examination, can I or can you abbreviate any word? Yeah. For example, one person company can be abbreviated as OPC, like I've done here. Now, when will I do that? Normally, my approach in examinations was like this. Whenever I'm using an abbreviation in an answer, then once in that answer, I will write the full form. Once, maybe the first time I'm using that word or that phrase, I will write it in full form with capital letters, first letters capital. Then after that, within bracket, like I have done here. Can you see? Like I have done here. I will write it fully. Then I will write the abbreviation within bracket. Thereafter, wherever I want to say annual general meeting, I am entitled to use AGM. This is the style rule for abbreviation, as I have understood it. There may be different rules. If you want to follow, but I have been following it for the last 40 years. Right from school, I have been following this method. Abbreviations, the style rule. This is called style rule, where the simple logic, the reader of my document should once at least be able to know what is the meaning of that abbreviation. You will notice that many reports, in the newspapers, you read Business Line or Hindu, they will do that. In the beginning of the report, on that news item, they will write the full word, then they will put the abbreviation. Thereafter, they will use the abbreviation throughout the idea is to save space. That's all, anything else. But once, at least you should write once, and that too at the beginning. First time that entire phrase is mentioned, please mention it fully, thereby clearing the doubt that you are aware of what the expansion is. 1, 2. In case you are using some special abbreviation, better you be clear what it is, so that we will know what it is. Because it is customary for many professionals to use abbreviations. The doctors use it, engineers use it, we also use it. But the ethics is, first time you should write it in full. For example, I was recently reading an article on cameras, trying to buy a new camera. So whether to go for mirrorless or whether to go for continue with the DSLR or the latest DSLR. Now, see, DSLR. Okay, so the point is, so I decided that I go. There they are used, virtual focus, OVF, or optical focus, or something like that, whatever. See, so now where that fellow is expanding it. He is an expert in that field. Right? He'll simply use the abbreviation. So I either have to look it up in Google, or somewhere in the middle of the article, fellow expands it. Optical viewfinder, electronic viewfinder, digital electronic viewfinder, EVF. So it took me at least about 10 to 15 minutes to get what OVF is, right? So I'm merely making this comment to help you understand the style rule. So follow this rule regularly. Definitely your answer will be more appreciated. So the meeting shall be specified as AGM in the notices calling it. So when you're sending the notice to the members, the notice should very clearly say the annual general meeting of ABC Limited will be held on. So that the person receiving the notice, the member, should immediately know that this is annual general meeting and not some other extraordinary general meeting. Every company other than OPC shall in each year hold, in addition to any other meetings, a general meeting as its AGM, annual general meeting. So AGM is compulsory for all companies except OPC. That's why I said there are some exceptions. OPC is an exception. See, because the purpose of an AGM is to ensure that the board of directors stand in front of the members at least once in every year. I'll repeat. The purpose of the AGM is to make the board of directors accountable to the shareholders, so that every year they are compulsorily expected to come and stand in front of the members, wherein the accounts will be approved, Some of these directors may retire by rotation and be reappointed. Auditor will be appointed. Dividend, if any, will be declared. These are ordinary business. So these matters has to be done at the AGM. Therefore, the board of directors will have. So this brings accountability. So AGM is compulsory. Now, in the case of an OPC, one-person company, who are the board directors? Our man only may be the director. Who is the member? He himself. So who is he accountable to? He is accountable to himself. That's all. So that will be foolish to have a meeting wherein this one person will. I as the chairman of the board of directors hereby report to you. Who? Me. See, I mean, only a schizophrenic can do this, I say. So therefore, they said one person company need not hold a AGM, right? Otherwise, it is compulsory for all companies. A private company, small company, defunct company, dormant company. I'm sorry, not defunct company. Dormant company, not defunct company. I took back my words immediately. Defunct company, no. Dormant, yes. And so on and so forth. Okay. Now, we are going to see the three important rules. If you are able to remember these three rules, then if you are getting a problem in the exam on AGM, you can easily solve it. But you have to remember these three rules very clearly. First rule, the gap between two annual general meetings should not exceed 15 months. So I'm holding AGM on, say, July 31st. Then within the next 15 months, I should hold the next AGM. Got it? So the gap, the interval, the time between the time lapse between two AGMs should not be more than or should not exceed 15 months. Okay. This is one rule. Another rule is the AGM should be held within a period of 6 months from the date of closing of the financial year. So what you need to do is you should triangulate these three rules and come to a solution which will satisfy all the three. I will repeat. You have to apply these three rules and come to a date which will satisfy all the three conditions. First condition, the date should be within 15 months from the earlier AGM. Second condition, the date of AGM should be within 6 months from the date of closing of the financial year. The date of closing of the financial year in India is uniform. It is 31st of March. So the last financial year which got over was 23-24, which ended on 31st March 24. All audits will be conducted with respect to that date. Accounts will be finalized with respect to that date. The balance sheet will be signed with auditors on 31/3/2024. So from that date, you count 6 months. Before the expiry of 6 months, you have to hold. So which date would that be? April, May, June, July, August, September. So 30th September 2024 is the due date. Now, suppose you have held your AGM on say April 30th. April 30th. You did it. You're a great company. You did it. Now, when should your AGM be held for this year? 23 ka AGM you held on 30th April 23. Wow. Now, you have to count 15 months from that date. So, April 30th, so May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. On or before 31st July, you have to hold. Why? Because 15 months is going to be ending earlier than 6 months from the date of closing. You got it? So, the date should satisfy both the conditions. It should be 6 months from the date of financial year. And also, the gap between two AGMs should not be more than 15 months. Plus, you cannot keep on pushing this in such a way that you can avoid holding an AGM in 1 year. No. Whatever it is, an AGM shall be held once in every year. Means before 31st December, you have to hold an AGM. You cannot avoid holding an AGM. Okay. Which means the registrar may, for any special reason, extend the time within which any AGM other than first AGM shall be held by a period not exceeding 3 months. Have you got it? So, already your date is coming. I can extend it by another 3 months. For example, in my example, last AGM you held on 30th April. So current year AGM, you have to hold it on 31st July. Last year, you had a CFO who was fantastic. The auditor was like me. He was very cooperative. Over. But this year, auditor is also not cooperating. CFO also not doing proper job. That CFO got some other fellow has come. Useless. Delay. So now you have to hold your AGM before July 31st. Why? Because 15 months gap. So now what to do? So then your auditor will suggest, okay, or company secretary will suggest, let us go to the registrar and get the extension for time. By how many months? Maximum 3 months. So July 31st, that's the last date. Now. So you go to him, sir, like that, sir, last time we held the AGM early, sir. Oh, now it's like this, sir, what to do, sir. So he will say, okay, I will extend it. By how much? 3 months. From which date? From 31st July. So August, September, October. You can push it up to 31st October. That's all. Right. Last year you held your AGM on 30th September. Good. Last day possible you held and that day you held it. Which means that your next AGM should be held on or before. In 15 months now. No, 6 months. Because from 31st March 24, 30th September will be there. 6 months. So you have to hold it on 30th September. Right, sir. I'll go to the registrar, sir. Okay, sir. Go to the registrar. I want extension. We're done. Till how long he can extend? Maximum 3 months. Means what? October, November, December. That's it. 31st December, you have to have your AGM. Because AGM shall be held once in every year. Okay. I'll give you one more extraordinary example, which is COVID. 22 March. Our enlightened Prime Minister told us to stay at home, and COVID came, and lockdown came. Thereafter, extensions came one after the other, extend. So that the due date for holding the AGM itself was extended by the NCA for 23 March accounts. They said, because 20 March was your COVID. So 21 March, the accounts are to be supposed to be done. IT filing got extended. Everything got extended. 21st October. I don't know what was the extended date for AGM. Let us assume that our enlightened finance minister gave us 31st October. So you got an extension for holding your AGM up to 31st October 2021. Right? I'm sorry, 2021. 21. No problem. You held it on 31st October. Now, your next year ka date, 22 ka date, will not be up. You can go. You have to go within 6 months. Right? Even if they, let us say you're going, October is the extended due date for holding in 21. You go extended due date. Normally, it is 6 months from the end of the financial year. The Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the enlightened finance minister at that time, she said, take time. COVID has come. Go, enjoy. Don't worry. We don't pressure you. So they gave time till 31st October. So now I go to the registrar and I ask him, sir, even 31st October, we can't do, sir. COVID, sir, like that. Okay, now what do you want? Another 3 months, sir. November, December? No. I cannot push it beyond December. Maximum December. That's it. Beyond December, I cannot go. Even registrar cannot help you. Okay. So this is the logic. Because why I'm giving this extension thing so clearly, because many companies invariably they go for extension. I keep on asking them, why are you going extension? I will complete that. You provide all the details. You provide all the explanations. I will complete my audit. No, sir, we have problems, sir. I can't do that. Sheer laziness. I'm sorry to say the sheer laziness. If they are only prepared on a daily, regular, monthly pay basis, 31st March, everything should be ready. October end, April end, I will sign, yeah. Or April end, I will give my final top sheet. These are the issues. These are the qualifications I may make. This is what I want. If you're okay, I'll sign tomorrow and go. That much clarity we can get, provided we know what we are doing. I am not joking. 500 crore, 1,000 crore turnover, 2,000 crore turnover. No problem. Okay. I'm not trying to boast. I'm saying it's a matter of planning and organizing. rather than, keeping quiet for 6 months, 9 months, and then suddenly waking up and saying last date, last date, last date. Okay. Now, these rules we saw is for all AGMs. But the first AGM has further different rules. So this is for other than first AGM. Other than first AGM. For first AGM alone, the rules are slightly different. So please remember, this rule is only for first AGM. That is the company is incorporated. Na? From that date, you have to hold the first AGM. Na? That first AGM rules is slightly different. The first AGM of the company should be held within 9 months from the closing of the first financial year. Because I incorporated a company, let us say, in July 2023. July 2023. Now, July 2023 means, let us say, for sake of clarity, I'm always using last date, please. It's easy for me. July 31st, 2023. July 31st, 2023. I'll say 1/9/2023. 1st September or 1st August 2023. Super. So 1st August 2023. The company incorporated on 1st August 2023. When is the first financial year? 1st August 2023 to 31st March 2024. Right, sir? Now, 1st August 2023 to 31st March 2024, the first year over 31st March 2024. So the first AGM should be held within 9 months from the closing of the first financial year. So from 31st March, within 9 months, that means what? December 31st you can hold. Right, sir? Obviously, the gap between two AGMs will not apply to first AGM, boss. Why? Because what is the earlier AGM? This is the first AGM. From now on only you can count 15 months. So this won't apply. AGM shall be held once in every year, they are telling. For this alone, for the first AGM, there is an exception. We will try to understand that. Where a company holds its first AGM, as aforesaid, that is within 9 months from the closing of the first financial year, it shall not be necessary for the company to hold any annual general meeting in the year of its incorporation. You got it? This will happen to which type of company you tell? Company incorporated after 1st July. Furthermore, any company incorporated 1st April will have this issue. Now. Why? Because suppose they incorporate the company on January and you combine this with financial year. Please. To understand this, you have to understand financial year also. Let us do that and then we'll come back and see this. Financial year means the period ending on 31st day of March every year. Got it? Where a company is incorporated after the first day of January of a year. Financial year is the period ending on 30th day of March, 31st day of March of the following year. I don't know why they are doing this. God only knows. Because in those days, we used to have 1/1 to 31/3, 1 year, 3 months ka year. Then on December, we will hold the AGM, first AGM, etc., etc. But now they are telling this new concept. So I love these MCA guys here. I love them for the way they complicate the law. Where a company is incorporated after first day of January of a year, financial year is a period ending on 31st day of March of the following year. Example will help you. I incorporated a company on 1/2/2023, 1st February 2023. That is after first day of January of last year. Now the first financial year, the first day financial year will start on 1/2/2023 and go up to 31st day of March of the following year. That means 31/3/2024. In which case, the first AGM should be held on 31st December 2024 only. Which means the company cannot hold an AGM in the year of incorporation. So, first AGM, if it is held as per the above rule, it is not necessary for the company to hold any AGM in the year of its incorporation. See, in that where a company is incorporated on first day of January also, this rule will. So 1/1 onwards, if you incorporate, that's it. You're out. But suppose you incorporate a company on 31st day of December, 31/12. Please note it, my dear friends, that one day is going to make a difference for you. I incorporated a company on 31/12/2022. Now, what is my first financial year? It is rating on 31st day of March of the following year. Same rule applies. Because, boss, 31/12 is also after 1st January only, na. But the rule says is the period ending on 31st day of March of the following year. So a company incorporated on 31st December, the first financial year will be March next following. So 31/12/22, if I incorporate, the first AGM should be held on December 31/12/2023. But if I incorporated on 1st January, the AGM will be held on, first AGM will be held on 31/12/2024. It will be held 2 years later. Sorry, I am not responsible for the law. I am only teaching the law. Okay. I don't know why this joke was done. I don't know. See, this is okay. Where a company holds its first AGM, as aforesaid, it shall not be necessary for the company to hold any AGM in the year of its incorporation. No problem. This was always there in the old law also, which is absolutely correct. The idea is simple. Suppose they incorporate a company in July, okay, then the company will have its first financial year ending on 31st March. Or any day after 1st April, if I incorporate, the first financial year will end on 31st March. After 1st April is okay. Why they made it 1st day of January, God only knows. Okay. So whatever it is, it will go there. And then that year, so in the year of incorporation, I will not hold. But suppose I incorporate a company from 1st January to 31/3, then automatically so anyway, I think the law may be crazy, but you understood the law now. If I incorporated on 1st January, my first AGM will 1st January 2023, then my first AGM will be held on 31/12/2024. Suppose I incorporated on 31/12/2022, then 31/12/2023 I have to hold. Because my first financial year will end on 31st of day of March of the following year, which is 23. Got it? In case of a company or body corporate, it's a holding company, a subsidiary company of a company incorporated outside India, and you have to follow a different financial year for consolidation. CG can allow a period which is, even though it is not a full year, financial year, even. Idea is that only for consolidation we will be allowed. For standalone subsidiary accounts or standalone holding company accounts, you have to follow Indian law. For consolidation alone, you can have a different period because you have to consolidate with their period now, so you will be allowed to do it for a different period. Okay. Even then, that will be only for the first year. Now, after that, it will come to 12-month period, except that it won't tally with ours. But still, the consolidated accounts will be for a 12-month period only. Okay. Abhiruchi Limited was incorporated on 11th December 2021. When should the company hold its AGM? Okay, 2021. If you want it to be 2023, make it 20. If I change it to 23, if it will help you do it. May emotionally think it's 2023. Okay. Abhiruchi Limited was incorporated on 11th December 2021. When should the company hold its AGM? So according to section 96(1), the company's financial year will close on 31st March 22. So the company may hold its first AGM by 31st December 22. That is within 9 months of the close of its financial year. Would your answer be the same if you are informed that the company was incorporated on 11th February? No, it won't be the same now, because if it is incorporated on 11th February, then the first financial year will end on the 31st day of March of the following year, which is 31/3/2022. Right? So then you will be holding, I'm sorry, actually this is wrong. This is wrong. This part is wrong. Just give me 1 minute. I will correct it, then you will be able to get that corrected. See, this is the mistake here. That is why now it's clear. See, would your answer be the same if you're informed that the company was incorporated on 11th February 2022? See, suppose it is 21, then the answer will not change. It will be the same. But if it is 22, then the answer will change. Why? Because 11th February 22, then the first financial year will be 31/3/23. And our AGM should be held on 31/12/2023. Suppose it is 21, for example. See, why not? We'll see. 21, then simple. The first financial year will end on 31st March 2022. Then the first AGM should be held on 31st December 2022. Answer will not change. If it is 11th February 2021, answer will not change. But it is 11th February 2022, answer will change. It is all. Okay. So this is the thing. Now we are going on to the topic which is time and place for holding an AGM. Time and place for holding an AGM. AGM shall be held during business hours. That is 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. That is business hours. On any day. There is not a national holiday. The idea is AGM should be done during the business hours. That's all. You please remember it. AGM should be held during business hours between 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. on any day that is not a national holiday. Why I'm getting a little upset and telling like this? No, as I was the secretary of the Tamil Nadu Investor Association. So many times I have raised this issue. See, you want members to attend. Now, who are members of companies, especially listed companies, small people like me who are earning their livelihood by going to office, getting salary and all. We are having our own work here. How we can come during business hours? You hold your AGM on Monday morning at 10:30 a.m. Brother, I want to go to my office, ma. I would love to attend your AGM as a shareholder. My office is there. Got it? Whereas they are saying you should hold it only on that. So that in my humble view, the ability of members to attend, even let us say you're holding a virtual meeting. Boss, even to attend a virtual meeting, I have to log on, boss. My employer will kill me if I log on. Let us say that I'm an IT company worker. I'm supposed to be seen on the screen, continuously monitored. The camera is watching me, whether I'm in front of the screen, whether I'm doing, or whether some activity is happening on my screen. Nothing is happening for about half an hour, phone call will come. Where are you? What are you doing? Like that. So let us say that I'm accessing it through my other computer and attending your virtual meeting. Even then it will be a problem for me. So my rule was always, don't hold it during business hours on working day. Have it on a holiday so that people can attend. See, this was my view. Till now, nobody has accepted it. When I suggest it, they will laugh at me or they will say, you get out, don't talk like that. I will also go away. But my view is that only if you do it on a national holiday, members can attend. Or on a Sunday, members can attend. Anyway, today, believe me, in those days, why do you think people attended AGM and all? Because they were giving gifts. I'm not joking. In the season, from July to September season, invariably AGMs will be held in some of the big halls in any major metro city. You will find people queuing there. Why? You think because they want to attend and learn about the company's activities and read the accounts? No. What gift are you giving? That's all. Leather purse, pen, something. I mean, I'm not trying to belittle the shareholders, but that's how they get. But today, virtual meetings are better because there people can attend, learn, and all. More than that, the real democracy survives because today, for purpose of voting on any resolution, a member need not leave his house. All he has to do is go for e-voting, go to the website, go through the link. Once he accesses through the link, user ID password will be already with him in his email. Give the user ID password, go in, then the polling sheet will be displayed, read it, degradation, yes, no. That's all. Your registered folio is already known, number of shares is already known. Finally, you finish all the items of agenda, yes, no, no, yes. Whatever you finish it, submit. Straight away, your vote will be taken, boss. Today, it's so easy. In a way, corporate democracy is now made easier through e-voting and digital meetings. That's See, this was something in 1999. I was addressing the regional conference of the Institute of Company Secretaries at Trivandrum, 1999. When .com and all that, I said today the bandwidth for .com is not there, and that these .com companies which you are seeing now will fail miserably. Any money invested in them will be wasted, which is what happened. All the .coms crashed except Amazon. Plus, in that meeting, I also gave the template for how a virtual meeting can be held. At that time, nobody even imagined such a meeting could be held. But as a template I gave, as a sort of a conceptual model I gave, this is how it should be done. It can be done, provided you get the bandwidth. It took 22 years for it to happen. And it took one pandemic for it to happen properly. So today it is there. Virtual meetings, e-voting, all that has come. I exactly mentioned. There will be a website where you go or log on. You'll be taken into the meeting room where you'll be able to listen to the chairman, etc. Then straight away you'll be taken to the voting link where same thing, whatever happens now. Okay. So, but that was 1999. The paper published is still there on the record of the institute in the proceedings of the regional conference. You always go and have a look at it. Okay. Then, so the AGM shall be held either at the registered office of the company or at some other place within the city's town or village, which is the registered office. Remember, this rule applies only to physical meetings. The minute you say virtual meeting or e-voting, you are out. You can have it anywhere. I can attend from anywhere. It is held in virtual space. Okay. But if you are going to have a physical meeting, then that physical AGM shall be held only at the registered office of the company or at some other place within the CTV, not color television, city, town, or village, in which the registered office of the company is situated. The AGM of an unlisted company may be held at any place in India if consent is given in writing or by electronic mode. All the members in advance can hold it, no problem. National holiday means and includes a day declared as national holiday by the central government. Central government usually announces it under the Negotiable Instruments Act for calculating grace days or due dates. If a day is declared as a national holiday under that act, then the due date will fall on the next working day, which is not a holiday. Okay. The central government may exempt any company from the provision of this subsection subject to such conditions as imposed. They have not exempted any as of now. Okay. See, these rules, this entire rule has become little meaningless today because of virtual meetings and e-voting. But still, for unlisted companies, for listed companies which are not going for virtual meeting, but going for e-voting, there should be a physical meeting, in which case this rule will apply. See, if I'm not working on a revision or on a main point coverage system, I can tell you 2 or 3 episodes in my life about how AGM has been conducted, how I have attended, and how, as a chartered accountant, auditor, as a shareholder, as a company advisor, secretarial advisor, whatever. The tribunal may call or direct the calling of an AGM. See, sometimes, because of a company's, one director is dead, or directors are not calling AGM, you are a member of the company is not holding AGM, then you can approach the tribunal. And once the tribunal is, an application is made by any member of the company, then tribunal may call or direct the calling of an AGM. So they may themselves call, or they can send a letter to the company saying, jolly well call this meeting. If any default is made in holding the AGM under section 96, you can go. Who can go? Member can go. And notwithstanding anything in this act or the articles of the company, tribunal may give ancillary or consequential direction. For example, where will the meeting be held? See, you direct them to hold. Where? So in the register office. The register office is locked. MD is having the key. Then they can give direction. The key should be handed over to the company secretary at such and such a time for the purpose of conducting the meeting. Finally, we can say, sir, they are 4 people, they are not holding AGM. I am one man. And one man, I hold 65%. 4 people, they hold 35%. They are irritating me. They are not holding AGM. What to do? Then the tribunal will say, okay, what is your problem? You're one man. You will form a valid quorum. One man attending is enough. They will give a direction accordingly. The direction will include that one member of the company present in person or by proxy shall be deemed to constitute a meeting. So later on, you will see quorum, minimum quorum. Even though the quorum is one member, they'll say, go, do it. So they have, tribunal has extraordinary powers to give directions under this section. Okay. Once a AGM is held under this section, it shall be deemed to be an AGM of the company. Please understand, there are 3 points you should remember in this. One is where there is a default in holding. Who can make the application? Member. Okay. These 2 points we have to understand. And tribunal may call or direct the calling. Now there's these 3 points you remember. Member can apply when there is a default in holding general meeting under section 96. Tribunal may call or direct the calling. Here, now we see 97, now we are going to 98. Tribunal may order a meeting of the company to be called. They cannot call, they can only order. And here it is a meeting, whereas here it is whereas here it is any meeting. Could be meeting of members, EGM also, whatever. When will they do it? If for any reason it is impracticable to call a meeting other than AGM, because if it is AGM, you got 97. So other than AGM, if you want, come here. In any manner in which meetings of the company may be called or to hold or conduct the meeting, right? So where it is impracticable, whereas here it is default, whereas here it is impracticable. How? Either the tribunal may do it suo motu or on the application of director or member, whereas here it is not only director or member. In addition to that, they can give all sorts of directions. One of the directions can be single member will form a valid quorum. Same. Here, there is common between the 2 sections. And any meeting called and held will be deemed to be a meeting of the company duly called and conducted. These 2 are special powers of the tribunal to call AGM under 97 or any other meeting under 98. Right. We move on to EGM, Extraordinary General Meeting. All general meetings other than annual general meetings are called extraordinary general meetings. Right. EGM. When will it be called? Board may, whenever it deems fit, call an EGM. See, as I told you, we want to shift the register office. We want to change the object class. Whatever. Whenever I need your approval as a shareholder, I'll call an EGM. It's my job. I'm going for a book buyback, bonus shares, whatever, Baba. I will send you a notice, e-voting form, vote, come for physical meeting if you want. I'll give you a cup of coffee, and also I'll try. Earlier, they used to give all sorts of things, complete snacks, tiffin, lunch was provided sometimes, the gifts were given. Those were heydays of AGM and EGM. And that is why today many investors are very unhappy with the SEBI because SEBI prohibited all that. They said no company should give gifts and other things to their members. See, there was a company called, in Chennai, there was one company, famous company called, I think it was called GV Films. GV Films, okay, very famous. One of their famous hits movies was a movie called Thalapathy by Rajinikanth, which became a super hit. And so when Thalapathy was released by the listed company, GV Films Limited, which was, the share price when I bought it was 16 rupees. Post Thalapathy issue, it went right up to 70 rupees. Then they released another movie called Anjali. Then they signed up with Sony Corporation for manufacturing CDs. They signed up with Michael Jackson for an Indian show. And the company was, so the valuation was extraordinary at that time. But then whatever it is. So during the peak, when Dalapati was released, the AGM of GB Films was held in Chennai, I think in Ardhagan Sabha, one of the famous auditorium, where I remember because I was a shareholder, I went with my brother-in-law, and we were given cassettes of that pre-release of that Dalapati cassette was given only for members. So that was seen as some sort of a bonus for a member. Being a member of the company, you got, even before public got the cassette, we got the cassette. So it was seen as, in those days, there was no CD or Spotify and all. There used to be cassettes, which we used to put in a cassette player. And it will be like a, cinema reels. It will be going like that. And music will be coming from the Sony player or whatever we use. All that. 1980, 85, 86. Can't even imagine. Those things were not available in India. They had to be imported. Or else we have to go to some place, Burma Bazaar and all, where we'll get it. It used to be fun. Foreign things were very costly and all that. Somebody, uncle goes to Singapore, he'll get it. It was all fun. There were no brands. Today, if you want, you'll be laughing at me if I tell all these things. Anyway, so now the board may, whenever it deems fit, call an EGM. The board shall call an EGM at the requisition made by the requisite number of members. See, to understand these provisions, you should understand one thing, sir. Normal company where management is doing a good job, where things are good, 97 will not apply, 98 will not apply. Requisitioned meeting of members, EGM will not be there. Why? Because the board will do everything correctly. Why the member will want to do all these things? But suppose the board is mismanaging, the company is being mismanaged, or some shareholders are being oppressed, then the board, the shareholders will want to exercise their democratic right. There, these enabling provisions are there to help them. Tribunal also may be hearing a case on oppression and mismanagement, which you will be studying when you come to final in the self-paced module, you will study it. But why I'm linking it? Because unless I link it, you will not understand the context. So already there is a mismanagement, there is an oppression, the minority or majority or whoever it is, they are complaining. One of the complaint is the company is not giving me opportunity to even vote. Okay. Then tribunal has the power to say, you call your own meeting. I will call a meeting for you. And you go and vote there. Like that. Suppose it has not gone to that stage. Suppose there is a tug of war between two groups who are equally placed, almost there. Now this rival group feels that the company is going to be mismanaged. So they want to take over the management. For doing that, they want to call an EGM. They can do so. So they call the board. The board should call. If they don't, then the requisitionists themselves can call and do whatever they want. Provided, see, once they call, the majority can also attend. See, are you able to understand? And then do it. So we'll see that. Whenever the board wants, it can call for a meeting. Whenever it deems fit. Deems fit means whenever it wants to. It can call an EGM of the company. Again, it need not be during business hours, unlike AGM. EGM can be called at any time. And any can be held at a place within India. Here they said only at the registered office, CTV. There, now they are saying EGM anywhere, so long as it is in India. Exception, EGM of the wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India. So, company incorporated outside India is having a wholly owned subsidiary in India. That EGM can be held outside India. Obviously, now because the main shareholder will be that company, maybe one more Mr. Robert will be there, who is a foreigner. So we say, hey, let the EGM be held abroad. It's a great relief for us. But similar provision is not there for AGM. See, this exception, why they can't give for AGM, they won't give. We have one company which was having the head office in Singapore. The wholly owned subsidiary in India is audited by us. The wholly owned subsidiary means what? That Singapore company will have 99, means all the shares will be held by the Singapore company, but one share was held by the MD of that Singapore company, a Chinese gentleman. Now, to hold the AGM, that gentleman has to come to India. Every year he will come religiously. Whenever he comes, we'll have other discussions also. Everything will go on. Then this AGM will be held. It will be simple AGM. There will be one guy representing the company nominee who will be representing, or the Chinese gentleman himself will represent both. He'll be representing the company and himself. To be on the safe side, what he used to do, I'll say that you be the nominee, you vote. And for the company, let us have some other authorized representative to come. So 2 people will come from Singapore, sit, hold the meeting, and go. So waste of time. I wish the same exception is given to AGM also. Why only AGM? In case of a specified IFSC private company, the board may, subject to the consent of all the shareholders, conduct its extraordinary general meeting at any place within or outside India. See, IFSC private company, international financial services company. Now, most of these companies are established in special economic zones or in areas where it is treated as if it is outside India, and income tax is exempted, all that. So there they say IFSC companies provide financial services to foreign clients and to foreign companies. So they operate in India, but they serve foreign clients. So IFSCs are meant to give more foreign exchange to India and also provide employment for our Indian graduates and finance professionals who will be hired by them. Okay. The point here is such company will have, it will be owned by a foreign company only. So they say with the consent of all the shareholders, you hold it EGM wherever you want. Again, my humble point, why only EGM? Why not AGM also? GOK, God only knows. Now, very, very important from exam point of view, if you can remember this, it will be great. The requisite number of members for calling for an EGM. Sir, I want you to think of a scenario, then you will understand it better. There is a company, there are 5 shareholders, or I can make it 6 shareholders, 4 shareholders hold 40%. 2 shareholders hold 60%. 4 shareholders hold 40%. 2 shareholders hold 60%. On a poll, who will win? 4 or 2? 2. Why? Because it is not 4 versus 2. It is 60% versus 40%. Therefore, if a meeting is held, and even if these 2 gentlemen are unable to come, let us say they are in Singapore or Dubai, they can send their representative called a proxy, and the proxy, if he votes, 60% vote will be cast. Whereas these 4 people together, if they vote, only 40. So our man will beat them on most resolutions, except where special resolution is required. Am I correct? Because if special resolution is required, then they will be holding 40. So he can't hold 3 times. So, no, he can't do. Suppose it is 20/80, even special resolution he can get. Why? Because if these guys together hold 20 and all of them vote, I need only another 60%. Then 20 into 3 times the number of votes. I got 80 now. So more than 3 times. So even special. But if these 2 fellows are holding 80%, they can even pass a special resolution. But since they are holding only 60%, they can definitely pass an ordinary resolution. But these 4 people are controlling the company. They are running it. They are the directors. They are running it. And these 2 fellows, after investing the money, they are looking like that. Because when the company is not giving dividend, their money is locked here. Then definitely the company is making some profit. But these guys are booking losses and doing some nonsense siphoning funds. I have to understand. This is a real practical situation. Now only this whole thing will make sense to you. Why there should be a requisition. Simply out of the blue, if you read section 100 to 6, it will be like boring. Imagine the story now. Now, what is the remedy available to these 2 people? What can they do? First thing they can do, is hold a meeting. And at that meeting, even if these guys come, all of them can be removed. And these 2 guys can appoint themselves as directors, take over the running of the company. How to do it? For that, first you should hold. It's EGM. These fellows are not holding. Right? So here is one immediate method. Of course, you can go to this 98. Correct. But only if it is impracticable. Whereas here it is not impracticable. These fellows are not holding. When I'm asking, they're not holding. Therefore, first you go here, 100. Section 100 you go. Check up if you have the requisite number of members. Such number of members who hold on the date of the receipt of the requisition not less than 1/10 of such of the paid up share capital of the company as on the date carries the right of voting. In the case of company having a share capital, right? So we had 4, 40 to 60%. So two people who hold on the date of requisition not less than 1/10 of the, they're holding not less than 1/10. 60% they're holding. So definitely they are requisite number. So the minimum number is not less than 1/10 of the paid up share capital of the company. In case the company does not have share capital, it is not limited by shares, it does not have share capital, it is limited by guarantee. So where the company is limited by guarantee, my dear friends, there can be no one share, one vote. Where is the share? It is only one person, one vote. So such number of members who have on the date of receipt of requisition not less than 1/10 of the total voting power of all the members having the right to vote. Now, here you have to be careful. Let us say that for one moment, this company does not have a share capital. Does not have a share capital. So, actually here, even if they have an EGM, it will be a little risky because at the EGM, 4 guys will come and vote. 2. Okay, but see, again, I'll tell you there is no share capital. My money is not locked. This will be more like a dispute between members of a society, sort of non-profit organization. See, this will be rare occurrence now. But still, since it's there in the law, I'm explaining. 2 members. Are they sufficient? Yes. Not less than 1/10 of the total voting power. What is the total voting power? 8. How 8? 4 plus 2. I'm sorry, 6. 4 plus 2. What is 1/10? 1/10 of 6 is 0.6. 0.6 is, I can't have 0.6 human being. So 1. Round it off to the nearest. So 1 person can form a requisition as such. There are 2 here. Not less than 1/10. Okay, go. Got it. But usually, this should not be done in this way. I'll give a better example. Let us say that there's a traders association. The traders association has 200 members. The office bearers are not holding EGM and all. Therefore, the members want to hold it and pass a resolution. So how many have to apply? 200 members. So minimum, I need 1/10 of the total voting power. So no share capital. Therefore, 1 person, 1 vote. So 200 members means I need 1/10 of the total voting power, which is 20. So minimum 20 members should apply. Now you understood? 1/10 of the total voting power. Okay. Requisition has certain rules attached to it. For example, the requisition shall set out the matters for the consideration of which the meeting is to be called and shall be signed by the requisitionist and sent to the registered office of the company. So first of all, you should clearly tell what are the matters for consideration. For example, in my first example, these 2 guys are going to call. Therein they'll very clearly say agenda item number 1, to remove the directors, donkey, monkey, etc., etc. Second, to appoint my A and B as directors. Like that, you have to clearly say what you are going to do. And that requisition should be signed. Now, see, this is not a notice calling the meeting. Hello, friends. This is only requisition. Wherein they're sending it to the directors saying, hey, Mr. Board of Directors, we feel that the EGM has to be held. One of the important purposes is A, to remove the following people as directors. B, to appoint the following as directors. Then maybe other to review the accounts, blah, 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 all that. So it has to be said. Now, the requisition is only a request. Requisition is another word, request. I'm only requesting you. I'm requisitioning. When you are eating in the dining table, I want salt. I say, please pass that salt. That is a request. But here, this is legal. I'm requisitioning. Please hold it legally. Okay. You can either send it in paper form, in writing, means printed form, or through electronic mode. No problem. The requisition shall be provided at least 21 clear days prior to the proposed date of such EGM. This clear days needs some explanation. Maybe I will do it when we come to notice of AGM. So kindly excuse me now if I don't explain what is clear days. But definitely it is not a day where the sun is there. For example, in almost throughout Tamil Nadu, for the last about 4 days, 5 days, we've been having clouds. It has been raining, cloudy. So today was a clear day, meaning what? Sun was out, no clouds. No, not that clear day. Clear day, we will explain to you when I come to notice for AGM. Clearly, I'll explain clear days to you. Okay. Right now, hold it. Clear days. Srikanth does not explain. No problem. Hold it. I will explain to you. If I go there now, we'll waste our time. Rather, ignore the clear days and say 21 days prior to the proposed date. So the notice should be received 21 days prior to the proposed date of the extraordinary. This is one thing which I have never understood, but still they are saying, let us see. Any reasonable expenses incurred by the requisitionist in calling a meeting on failure of the board should be reimbursed by the requisitionist. Okay. And if whatever is paid or reimbursed will be deducted from the remuneration to the director. And I think that's very fair because, see, they reasonably requested you. They suggested a date. They gave it to you 21 days before. Now you should hold it, right? Then they will come do something, go. You didn't do it. Then they held it on their own. For this they have incurred. Why should the company pay? If you have called it at the time when they asked, we will pay. You did not. When they held, no, they want the money. We won't pay, you pay. The company need not be penalized. It is the directors who have to pay. Once, a very intelligent student once asked me one doubt, and I still don't have an answer for it. He said, sir, directors have to file returns. Directors have to comply with all the requirements. Directors don't do it, negligence, whatever. They have to be penalized. But why are you penalizing the company? Thereby the shareholders. See, in many cases, the penal provisions will say the company and every officer in default. Now, his question is very beautiful question. I wish, I'm Buddhu, I'm not able to, maybe that question is wrong and I'm appreciating it. But the fact remains, boss, he is the director. He should have done it. He has not done it. Your company law, every other section, there is a problem, but this form should be filed, that time he should be filed. I, as a shareholder, have no control over it. I entrusted that activity to that fellow, the director. He didn't do it. Now, because he didn't do it, you are fining the company. And that fine is being paid out of my money for his default. You collect double from him. Let the directors go to jail. How can you penalize the company? Because if the company is paying, ultimately who is paying? The shareholders. So what are you protecting me for? I mean, this is a broader question. Because there are because let us say I am the shareholder. I am the owner, etc., etc. But I can't file the charge, I say. 100%, then every shareholder will come and say, I want to file. No, only the directors can file. They have not filed it. You are charging a fine. Who will pay the fine? Company. Out of whose money? My money. And what happens to director? Simply laughing and going. So that question was asked by a very intelligent student. And I'm only raising that question. I still don't have an answer for that question. I don't know, maybe some seminar I have to ask regional director or somebody to give an answer. Or ultimately the Minister for Corporate Affairs should tell me. That is how it is. Maybe once they enlighten me, I will stay enlightened. And after that, never ask this question again. Okay. So coming back to the point, this diagram is there, but still this is not clear. See, boss, I am giving you a requisition. At the time when I am making the requisition, how will I know what is the meeting day? I'm going to cry. Still, assuming that I am able to predict the date, some date, X date I'm giving. My requisition should be 21 days. That's all. Okay. So whatever it is, the date of receipt of the valid requisition you take. This is very, very important date. Date of receipt of a valid requisition. Either I go and deposit it in the company or I send it by courier, whatever. The company gets the receipt of valid. Within 21 days, the board of directors should proceed to call a meeting. They should proceed to call the meeting. Such a meeting should be held within 45 days by the board. So the board is given, and depositing it today, 21 days. See, maybe what they are trying to say is when I'm giving the requisition, I'm giving them a date. That date should be, that requisition should be at least 21 clear days prior to the proposed date. Even assuming it is 21 clear days, so the board give 21 days notice then. See, board should give 21 days notice now. Any general meeting, the minimum date to be given is 21 days. So I'm not able to, I'm totally confused by this. But anyway, I'm not saying it is wrong because my guru always says, never reduce the law to your futility. I'm unable to explain it. If anybody has a doubt, don't ask me on this one point because I don't have a proper answer for it. Even I have question only for this. I don't have an answer. I am the requisitionist. I may suggest a date. But if I'm going to ask you to, on particular date, that date, you should get 21 days time. So they should say 1 week before that, something like that. Basically, in those days, it was very simple, ma. I deposited the requisition. Then the board had 21 days to call. They should proceed to call so as to hold it within 45 days. This was clear. Because then I deposit, then you still have time, 21 days time to think, consult your advocate, do whatever you want. But whatever it is, you should send the notice within 21 days. In that notice, the board meeting, the date of meeting should be given. That date should be less than 45 days from the date of receipt of valid requisition. So everything is beginning with this date. Are you able to understand? Everything is beginning with this date. Everything is beginning with this. Right, sir. I sent you the requisition. You got it. You took 21 days, fiddled your thumbs, did nothing. You're supposed to hold it within 45 days. I wait. Nothing happens. Then the requisitionists themselves may call and hold the EGM. If there's a failure by the board, then the requisitionists themselves may call and hold the EGM. If they do like that, then these expenses, etc., will be reimbursed. Got it? Which is why in case there is a failure by the board and they hold it, those expenses are reimbursed. That will be deducted from the director's remuneration. This is in this one case, they are doing it. My humble view is wherever the company pays the penalty, the director should be personally liable to refund it. Yes. So long as it is shown that you are the man in control at that time, even if you are a nominee director, you pay it. If you are a so-called independent director, you have to come back. If the independent directors, sorry, they are exempted, they are having immunity and all that. At least non-independent directors, whether non-executive or executive, whether you are there, you took the remuneration, you sat, you are also responsible. Pay. See, if you're going to say I'm an independent, I'm a so-called director, but then you pay. Okay. Such a meeting will be called and held in the same manner as the board meeting called by the board. The notice shall specify the date, day and hour of the meeting, etc. The requisitioners should convene at the meeting registered at the registered office or in the same city or town. Here the village word is not there. It's okay, city or town. Where the registered office is situated, and such meeting should be convened on any day except a national holiday. Okay. Any day except national holiday, including Sunday can also be there. May not be during business hours. Okay. The notice shall be signed by all the requisitionists, etc., etc. These are all just rules. Okay. The notice should be given to those members whose names appear in the register of members within 3 days on which the requisitionist deposit with the company a valid requisition for calling an EGM. Boss, I have deposited 21 days, Gaya. Then 45 days gaya. Now I'm going to call. I've got 3 months to do it from the date of deposit. Now what I need to do, I should get a list of members whose names appear in the register of members within 3 days on which I deposited. Who will give it to me? The board of directors have to give it to me. Okay. Where the meeting is not convened, the requisitions have a right to receive list of members together with the registered address and number of shares. And the company is bound to give the same as on 21st day from the date of receipt of valid requisition, together with such changes, if any, before the expiry. How to reconcile 76 and 77? I don't know. They are saying I should send it to the names appearing within 3 days. Whereas they are bound to give only as on the 21st day from the date of receipt. Yes, I don't know. Now, if you want a fair explanation, I will give this. I am the requisitionist. We are the requisitionists. We have deposited 21 clear days before. That is, from the date of deposit of requisition, you count 48 hours for receipt. Receipt is important, boss. You got it now. The company got it now. From that day of receipt, you count 21 days now. The next day, before that, you should hold it. You should send the notice. You have not sent it. The meeting should be held within 45 days by the board. They have not done it. Now, so the expiry of 45 days, I still have 3 months now, 90 days. So another 45 days. Now I want to call. Now I go to them and say, hey, I want to call it myself. Please give me. 17.6 says I should send to those members in the register of members within 3 days on which I deposited. So within 3 days from this. Whereas they are bound to give only as on this date, 20th day. Got it? So I will suggest that we go by 17.7. Company will give us on the 21st day. I'm going to now call now. I will see to it that they get it. Idea is no member should be left out. I would say that they should give it as on the day I'm asking, they have to give my. It's as simple as that. Only 3 days, 21 days. I am going to hold now 45 days. Okay, yeah. I'm going to call now. I've got 3 months to go. I come to you and I say, give me the list of members. As of date, you give now. Why 21 days or 21st day, 3rd day? Why all that? They're unnecessarily complicating the simple provision. So, the earlier section in the Companies Act 1956 was 169. It's a Acha provision. There was no mistake in it, nothing. It was working well. There were no issues. They could have simply reproduced it here without any change. I don't know why they did it. Why they have not done it. And this is not a criticism or a comment. It is an opinion given by a professional who has been teaching this law for almost 28 years now. Okay? Both the old law and the new law. Okay? And who has also written a book for CA final examination. So this is an opinion given by a professional, not a negative comment about any policy of the government. So after all, when the law is made by the government of India, professionals have every right to give their critical opinion about it. And that is why we are professionals. So if that is construed as questioning the law, that is not fair. Either the government should say, yes, you are right, and change. Or they should interpret it and tell us, we send a circular notification giving clearly what is the meaning of 17.6, what is 17.7, give me clarity. But then, who will ask for that clarity, Not you and I as professionals. That should be done only by Chamber of Commerce. So I have been on committees of Chambers of Commerce, sent queries, no reply. Okay. So up to now, we have seen the two types of meetings, AGM or EGM, the basic rules relating to that, etc., etc. So I'm unable to see any queries in the query pad. Therefore, I shall presume that everything is clear and unambiguous to you. Just give me 1 minute. If you have any queries, you can definitely ask me on the query pad, no problem. Then we will move on to the next topic, which is rules relating to calling of EGM, AGM, and all that. These are common rules. These are common rules. nothing to do with EGM, etc. Okay. Now, before you go there is again a very esoteric question that we have to ask ourselves. This is esoteric because it goes out of the mundane or ordinary perspective of a normal student. See, a normal student who is studying for company law is only interested in mugging up the provisions, writing the answer, going, getting some 60, 40, 50, whatever, enjoy life, go, get a job, sirf kaam ke liye. That type of knowledge, that type of education, if you are interested, then this question may not be relevant to you. But if you are a student like me who likes to understand subject in depth and become an authority on it or a professional, then you have to understand this question, which is, who is the company? It's a very fundamental question. Now, immediately you will say, you will laugh at me and say, Srikanth, you are a madman. Don't you know who is the company? Company is an artificial person, a separate legal entity, perpetual succession, blah, 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 can be sued in its. You only told, now you are coming and asking. Sir, I did not ask you what is the company. Suppose I had asked you what is the company, your answer is perfectly correct. Separate legal entity capable of filing, holding property in its own name, so dealing with property in its own name, can file suit, can be sued and be sued in its own name, purpose of succession, blah, 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 blah. And you are totally right. But my question is, who is the company? Now, there you will say, what, you don't know this? Company is the members. Yeah. So company is members and not directors. Directors are only management. Directors are only day-to-day managers. They don't own the company. The company is the members. Now I will ask you, are they, see this usually in my physical classes, this used to happen very interactively, where I will ask the question, students will answer. It'll be nice. So, but here in an online mode, I have to ask the question and I have to give a reply. Okay. So the question is, who is the company? Is it all the members who are the company? The correct answer is no. Because for passing a resolution, I do not need all. I need only a majority of its members. So when you say Reliance Industries Limited has done something, what do you mean? Reliance Industries has no entity, I mean, it has an entity, but has no brain. So it cannot think. Who thinks? Definitely Mr. Mukesh Ambani, but even the entire board, if you want to change the object class of Reliance Industries Limited, Mukesh, he cannot do it. He has to call for an EGM. At the EGM, majority of the members passing a resolution, once they say yes, then it has been done by the company. So the company is a majority of its members passing a resolution at a validly convened, constituted, and conducted meeting. So, this meeting is so very important. If you say the company has done it, the proof is that there was a meeting, validly convened, constituted, and conducted. And at that meeting, the resolution has been passed by not all, majority. In some cases, the majority is a special majority. That is all. But basically, majority is enough. Okay. Which is again, another unfortunate or fortunate thing with democracy. Majority decides. If the majority decides, everybody has to accept it. And that is how it should be. Friends, I've been a member of many societies, organizations, Rotary, Freemasonry. When in a meeting, I will stand up and express my opinion. 25 minutes, I'll vehemently argue. Then the voting will be done. Voting may go far in my favor, means in favor of my proposal. Happy. Voting may go against. I will vote against. I will vote for the resolution or I will vote against the resolution. But the majority may say yes. Then in a democracy, you cannot further question the majority decisions. If you do that, then it will come to anarchy. It will come to, then we will be no better than tribals. Even tribals have obedience. Even tribals, once a decision is taken by the tribe, everybody accept it. Okay, once majority has taken a decision, any other method of violence being taken is wrong. You have to obedience to the decision of the majority is very important. Even though you're not happy, you have to accept it. That is how democracy will be there. And company form of organization is a classic democratic organization where once a majority is passing the resolution, it is as if the company has accepted it and thereafter nobody can question it. This will be the same point you will come across it in final when you are studying operation and mismanagement, rule in FOSS versus Arboretum, we'll talk about majority. So if you can remember it at that time, good. Otherwise also, just for your information. And it may sound unfair, but the fact remains that is any other method is dangerous. You may say democracy is like this character, but all the other options are very bad, dangerous. So comparatively, democracy is safe. At least the majority has a chance. If you are able to convince the majority, then you can do what you want. Anyway, so we saw three words here which are very important. A validly convened, a validly constituted, and validly conducted meeting. So three words, three verbs: convene, constitute, conduct. Convene, call. Convene means call. See, if there is a conference where you will have a convener. Who is the convener? The man who calls the conference. So convene means call. For that, you should give notice. So we'll be seeing the rules relating to notice. What is notice, period of notice, etc. What is clear notice? Everything will be discussed. In one rare case, special notice will be needed. What that is also means. Similarly, why are we holding the meeting? To conduct some business there, to take some decisions. Means some agenda should be discussed and resolution should be passed now. So business, what is the business? What are the types of business? Special and ordinary. Resolutions are there, special. We'll come to that. Then constitute. Constitute means to form. So when is the valid meeting formed? Only when there is a quorum. Quorum. We'll come to that. Quorum. We'll come to what is quorum at all. For calculating whether there is quorum, should I include a proxy? Means proxy is a person. Listen to me, I will again explain this. But right now, just if you can understand it, it will be nice. Proxy is a person who attends the meeting on behalf of the company. On behalf of the shareholder. I'll repeat. Proxy is a person who attends the meeting of a company, general meeting of a company, on behalf of a member. So technically, the proxy is an agent of the member. Member is not able to attend and vote. Therefore, he empowers a man called proxy to claim. So whether that proxy can be counted as quorum, we will see when we come to proxy. Who is proxy? What are the rights of a proxy? All that we will see when we come to proxy. That is why you'll see proxy is moving. That box is covering under both constitute and conduct. Because whether he is to be counted as quorum, proxy should be considered at the time of constitution. During the meeting, proxy has certain powers. Proxy can call for a poll. Of course, proxy can call for a poll. He can vote on a poll. That is part of conduct. And the business is conducted. And finally, the product of a valid meeting is a resolution. If the meeting is validly convened, constituted, and conducted, the resolution is valid. Any action taken based on that resolution is valid and binding on the company. That is why management and administration is a very important topic. Right, sir? So we have to see so many things. Notice, quorum, proxy, types of business, types of resolution. In addition to that, we'll be seeing chairman, poll, all that we'll be seeing now. Okay. Length of notice. Length means not the paper length, but period, number of days. So I am sending a notice to you. The meeting should be not less than 21 clear days after that. So I should give you 21 clear days notice. See, I want you to attend the meeting. They can't call you today evening and say tomorrow meeting is there coming. No. Many times it happens, sir, many social organizations, the secretary will call. Shrikant, sir, tomorrow morning meeting. What? Tomorrow morning. No, sir, our chairman says it is very difficult because last minute, no, sorry, sir, you have to help us. I go, what is this? At least you give me 1 week's notice here. You tell me, no, sir, we want to have the meeting. Again and again, he'll be repeating whatever he's saying. So that is very bad. It's a minimum time for that man to plan and to update. So the law for the purpose of general meeting says the length of notice should be not less than 21 clear days. 21 clear days, not days without cloud, but the gap between the date of notice and date of meeting, you should not include the date of service and the date of the meeting. If you see this, you will understand. 21 clear days. Now for a Section 8 company, this 21 should be read as 14. So for Section 8 company, it is enough if you give 14 clear days notice. 14 clear days notice. Okay. Clear days means the date on which notice is served and the date of meeting are excluded. The company cannot curtail. Curtail means restrict the requirement of, curtail means restrict the requirement of clear days through its articles. So the articles of association cannot say the notice will be given 7 days notice. No. Or 14 days before the notice without mentioning clear days. No. If that is done, then the articles is void and the act will directly apply. Remember, the articles cannot contradict the law. Here they were specifically said you cannot do it. Now, very important, Rule 35(6) of the company's incorporation rule. If you check it up, it is there in your material. It is there in my main lecture, my full lecture. I would have covered 35(6). Go through the video. The last I would have covered service of notices, where I would have said this also. Where a notice of a general meeting is sent by post, it shall be deemed to be served at the expiration of 48 hours after the letter containing the same is posted. We'll see an example, you will understand it. Easily you will understand. So what is need to see? And one more thing. This is there only for post office postal notice, physical notice. So if you're going to send it by post physically, then you have to take the date of posting. What is date of posting? You go to the post office and post it, or that, in those days, the red pillar boxes will be there. You'll put the letters that is the time date of posting, right? Today, who sends by post here? Are you aware of the post office? Today, the post office itself is no longer in the business of, sort of very rarely they deliver post. They are more a bank now. For information, the Indian post office is now becoming a bank. In a very short time, you will find they'll become like FedEx or, what is that? Famous stagecoach company that became a bank. Forget the name. It was in Texas in those days. The stagecoaches, used to carry gold. And forget the name. Suddenly it will come to me. So that company, so they were more like bankers. So the banking system operated like this because the gold had to be carried in very, very unsafe area where Red Indians are there, where dacoits and outlaws are there. So there used to be a protection by the US Army, or these guys had their own protection, and they used to go. And so these companies used to have, and suddenly the name of that company will come to me. And so that became a bank. Similarly, the Indian Post Office is slowly becoming a bank, which is rightly so. Okay. So date of posting, then you count 48 hours, not 2 days. 2 days alage, 48 hours alage. Later on, when we come to General Clauses Act, we will clearly understand what is hour, what is day. So 2 days means, like from, say, today means tomorrow, day after. That is midnight to midnight. Whereas hours means you have to actually count hours. Okay? You have to actually count hours. And whichever the hour, 48 hours get over that day. So you take the date of posting and then count 48 hours. See the date on which that 48 hours is ending. So any notice is sent by post, it shall be deemed to be served at the expiration of 48 hours. So that date, which is 48 hours is expiring, will be treated as date of service. So let us say that I'm posting it today. I'm posting it today. Today, let us say 5 p.m. I'm posting it. That means what? Today is 20th of May. So 20th of May, 5 p.m. So I count 48 hours. So I count 24 hours, let us say. So 4 p.m., 4:59 p.m., 24 hours over. Then tomorrow, 21st. 22, 4:59. Okay, 4:59. Okay, then 48 hours got expired. So 22 will be when, so today is 20, 21, 22. 22 is when 48 hours will expire. Don't consider that date. So you should leave out 22. You should leave out 22 and then count 21 days. So we are now in May now. So 22 don't count. So start counting 23, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31 bhi hai na. So 9 days in May. 9 days in May. Let me not use my brain, which is not worth, but rather use a calculator. So 9 days in May, right? 21 days total, minus 9 over here, 12 days in June. So 12th of June. So 9 days got over. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 20 days. 12. That is 21st day. Now, the last day, 21st day, that you take. That is, in our calculation, 12th of June. Don't count that date. So 12th. So 13th June onwards, anytime you can have the meeting. Date of meeting should be 21 clear days. So from the date of posting, take 48 hours, ignore that day, start counting from the next day, 21 days. Whatever date you get, that day you don't, that be the last day. From the next day onwards, any day you can have the meeting. Okay, so sometimes they might give you a problem where you have to do it like this. Let us. So, the directors of Signy 21 Mines Limited posted the notice for an AGM on July 25th. The meeting was scheduled on August 14th. Is this valid? See, you do the same calculation here. You take a photograph of this and you will arrive at the answer as 17th. So the meeting, this day will be 17th of August. After 17th of, you can do the counting, boss. 25th July, na. So posting was done on 25th July, na. So 26th, 27th. So 48 hours will expire on 27th July. So you leave that. So 28, 29, 30, again July, na. So 31, 4 days. 4 days in 4 days in July. 21 minus 4, 17. So 17 days in August. 17th August is this date. This date is 17th. So that day will not be counted. So from any day after 17th. So 18, 19, 20. Whereas these fellows of Signy Mines have called it on August 14th, which is less than 21 days. Therefore, the notice is invalid. Right? Now, one question has been raised by Mr. Sadam. Good question. For extraordinary general meeting, for calculating requisition, do we also count DVR holders? Yeah, definitely, because there, it is not thing. But be careful here. It's a good question, but very interesting question. Very interesting question where such number of members who hold on the date of receipt of not less than 1/10. So for calculating 1/10 of the paid up share capital, you can count DVR also. Definitely. Because they don't say, they say as on that date carries the right of voting. So you can definitely. DVR shareholders can also be included. But when the meeting is actually held, when the voting happens, they will not get full vote. That is different. But for requisitioning purposes, for calculating 1/10 of the paid up capital, yes, sir, you can include. There, don't go for proportionate and all. See, I have invested 10 rupees, he has also invested 10 rupees. It is just that I have half vote, he has full vote. At the meeting, that will be there. When he votes, it will be half, a full vote. For me, it's half. But for counting 1/10 of the paid up capital, I will be included. PVR will be included. Good question, Mr. Sadap. And I hope the answer is satisfying you. So, coming back to notice over. Now, can a meeting be convened by giving shorter notice? Yeah, provided if consent in writing or by electronic mode is accorded by the requisite number of members. So, see, it's simple. Before, I want to give shorter notice now. No problem. But I should ensure that I'm getting the consent of not less than 95% of the members entitled to vote for an AGM. Similarly, in the case of a company having share capital, for EGM, majority in number of the members entitled to vote and who represent not less than 95% of such part of the paid up share capital. In case of company not having share capital, members having not less than 95% of the total voting power. Idea is, in the case of AGM, 95%. In the case of EGM, where there's a share capital, it is not enough if 95% of value agree. They are saying majority of the number also should be there. So if a company has 100 shareholders, 51 should agree. And those 51 should be holding not less than 95% of the paid up share. So if suppose 4 or 5 people together are holding 80, 5 people are holding 80%. Remaining, say, 95 people are holding 5%, 20%. Then all I need is 95% now. So if I convince a few of them, it is okay. So 5 plus another 15, 20 people, together we will cover 95%. No, it is not enough if it is 95% of paid up share capital. That shorter notice should be accepted by majority in number also. So I have to get some more people so that minimum I should have 51 people agree. And together we should hold not less than 95%. So this number game they have given for EGM. My question, why this has not been given for AGM? Why such a provision is not available for AGM? It's a very fair provision. It protects the minority. It protects the small Aam Aadmis like me who have very few shares. Why not give it for AGM also? God only knows. I mean, seriously, if I know the answer, I will tell you. I don't know. Why? Okay. Right. Extraordinary general meeting where there is no share capital, then one man, one vote. So not less than 95% of the total voting. So now, my friends, I have been speaking for easily what? 6 to what? 7:45 to 6 to 7, 6 to 7, 7:45, 1 hour and 45 minutes. Huh? So what do you say? Rest. Let's have a small break for 5 minutes. I'll just get a cup of hot water. And now the time is, by my watch, 7:43. They make it 7:45. By 7:50, we will restart this class. Inshallah, try to complete it today. Sir, small break, sir. Now we move on to the next topic, which we will call business. See, basically business is the matter to be transacted at the meeting. The business means the matters or agenda. Agenda means the items to be discussed. So, for example, let us say that three of us are decided to meet regarding something. We'll have an agenda. If you don't have an agenda, we'll waste our time. So generally, when I am called for a meeting, I ask for the agenda. So the agenda will have item 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I go for the meeting and there is start item number 1. What is your view? What is your view? What is your view? This is my view. What is the decision you are taking? If you have a common consensus, okay. Otherwise, vote. Majority decision. Move on. Finish it. After the meeting is over, we'll eat dosa and have discussion, conversation. That is okay. But don't waste the time of the meeting. Suppose somebody wants to leave, let them go. Okay. So that is my view. My humble view. Don't waste meeting time by talking unnecessary stuff. Item by item, we go through agenda. Take a decision. If you cannot take a decision, minute it and say that we need more information. So and so has been directed to provide more information, whatever. Okay, that's the point. So that way, the meeting will become business-like. It won't be a chit-chat conversation where, we are simply sitting and see, that is the old ladies will sit in the houses, in the front of the houses and gossip. That is not meeting. So when we are meeting, there should be agenda. And that agenda should be considered item by item. This is for a normal committee meeting or for a board meeting, But for a company general meeting, please note, if it is a committee meeting or if it is a board meeting, you can have last item of agenda. Many people will have last item of agenda, which any other matter with the permission of the chair. Any other matter with the permission of the chair. Means in case somebody wants to take up an item which is not in that agenda, he can do so. Permission of the chair. The chairman will decide whether this item is worthy of consideration. But, my friends, this is there for board meeting and committee meeting for any other association and all. But when you come to company general meeting, there cannot be any item of agenda which is not mentioned in the notice. If it is not mentioned in the notice, you cannot take it up. Suddenly, some donkey cannot stand up and say, Mr. Chairman, I propose we discuss this. Sorry, sir. The agenda has been given to you. 4 items. Only the 4 items can be discussed. If you want fresh item to be discussed, please give fresh notice and take it up at the fresh meeting, 21 days, blah, blah, blah. This meeting, we will discuss only this, right? So that is called business. Business means the matters or agenda to be transacted at the meeting. I'm making my point again, sir. For general meeting, that those items mentioned in the agenda only can be taken up in the business. Ordinary special. New item cannot be taken up even with the permission of the chairman. Chairman's job is very simple. Take up each item, put it to vote. Yes, no, good, proceed. If any deliberation, discussion, allow everybody to talk. Document their views. Minute it. Finally, put the matter to vote. See, before we go there, I have been a chairman of Rotary meetings. Many times, they will call me as the past president and say, Srikant, you please come and chair the meeting, sir. Because you are the only man who can discipline the meeting. So I will go there and once I take the gavel of the chairman or in the Freemasons Lodge, once I take up the master's gavel, I say, look here, let's talk agenda. Okay, this is the matter. Now propose the matter. Yes, proposed. Seconded. Now, anybody having any view, please talk. Talk for 20 minutes also. Give your view. Because that is the greatness of a democracy. Every voice should be heard. Right. All of you have spoken. You have given your view. Are we ready now? 25 people are there in this hall. I will now put it to vote. All those in favor, raise your hand. They have raised. All those against, raise your hand. Item passed. Immediately those against one fellow will stand up. I said, look here. You spoke. We heard. Resolution passed. That's it. Democracy. Please sit down. Okay. So this is something that nobody understands. See, after the matter has been discussed, everybody has spoken, vote has been taken for, win, passed. That is it. Or against. Right. The number of votes against is more than the number of votes for. The people don't want it. They have very clearly voted. Now, beyond that, why you are getting again? If you still feel, then bring up again in some other new agenda, you bring it up. Same meeting, we cannot discuss it once more. Why I'm making these points very vehemently, friends, you as future chartered accountants should have that type of controlling capability. You should not be like that. You should not be wasting time. Be clear. If you know the law, if you know the rules of meetings, and if you have the capability, you can conduct it. So don't be worried. If once you are there, democratic process, then you don't have to be afraid for anybody. And document it and go, minute it. So many votes for, so many votes against. Donkey said this, monkey said this. Document everything so that nobody can deny that their voice was not heard. Finally, vote favor so much, against so much. Resolution passed. That's all. Okay. This is the job of a chairman. Please understand. This is the job of a chairman, not to enter into argument with everybody, wasting time. You are the chairman. Your job is to control the meeting, not to control the members, but to control the meeting. To allow, what is your goal? Finish the items of agenda. Allow everybody to talk. Nobody should interrupt. When A is talking, B should not interrupt. Then B will talk. Secretary should minute or tape the whole meeting or videotape the meeting. Tomorrow, any court you can appear and say, this is how the meeting happened. This is the decision taken. Now you understand why meetings are very, very important. Tomorrow, if there is a dispute between the members, the minutes of the meeting become evidence in the court of law. Therefore, the conduct of the meeting becomes very, very important. And everything should be done as per the rules and documented. Right, sir? That is why this, because tomorrow major decisions of 100 crores will decide on whether that meeting was correctly conducted or not. So you have to be very careful. See, tomorrow as one of the senior chartered accountant, you will be maybe becoming chairman of a committee. You will have to, you may be appointed as a director of a company and chairman of the audit committee. You should know how to conduct that meeting, right? And the committee decision should be documented, minuted. Right. So tomorrow, even if there's an investigation by serious fraud investigation office, the audit committee's decision should be clearly documented. Sir, audit committee recommended like this. The audit committee consisted of 5 people. 3 were for, 2 were against it. Matter was proposed, sent to the board. Okay. Fine. Now coming to the point. As far as general meetings are concerned, certain items are called ordinary business if transacted at an AGM. If transacted at an AGM, certain matters are called ordinary business. Okay. See why they are called ordinary? Because they're usual. For example, at the AGM, financial statements to be considered, along with the report of directors and auditors. Declaration of a dividend should be considered. The appointment of directors in the place of those retiring should be considered. The appointment of and fixing of the remuneration of the auditors should be considered. These are standard now. Every year, you have to, of course, in some AGM, auditor reappointment will not be there because later on in the next session, we'll talk about auditing. Auditor will be appointed for 5 years at a time. Okay. All other business at an AGM and all business at any other meeting shall be deemed to be special business. Right. So all other business, see, you conduct an AGM because you got an open meeting, you have some more items of agenda, no problem. But those items are all special business. Whereas these 4 are ordinary. Even these 4 matters, if you do at a meeting other than AGM, then they will become special business. All business at any other meeting shall be deemed to be special. See, once it is special business, what is the extra dimension? A statement should be given giving the material facts. Because, see, ordinary business, I don't have to tell, we are declaring a dividend. You jolly will know. Even that will be mentioned in the board of directors report. For information, the directors report will clearly mention that the directors are happy to declare a dividend of so and so. But special business, there should be clear-cut material facts. What is this matter? Why are we doing it? And all that. More importantly, whether any director or key managerial personnel or relative of those people are interested in the matter. Interested means what? Financially interested. I'll give a simple example, sir. You are appointing Mr. A as the MD of the company, right? Or Mr. A as a joint managing director. A is the son of the MD. Now, obviously, in this matter, the MD is interested now. His own son is getting appointed. Therefore, his interest has to be mentioned. Interest, financial or otherwise. Or maybe you are approving a related party transaction. You are awarding a contract to a firm in which wife of the MD is a partner. Obviously, the MD is financially interested in the matter. Therefore, he should not, of course, later on in final you will read, he should not vote and all that. But right now, that interest of the MD should be clearly disclosed. Okay. So like that, any agreement is there that can be inspected, etc. Okay. In case there is any other company which is being affected in which there is a shareholding interest by any of the directors of this company of not less than 2%, then the details of that company also should be given. And the details of the interest also should be given. So the idea is disclosure, informed decision, so that the shareholders tomorrow should not say, I was not aware. Make him aware. If after knowing that the appointee is the son of the MD, we approve it, no problem. If after knowing that the contract is awarded a firm in which the MD's wife is there, we agree, no problem. Thereafter, you cannot question it, unless there is some serious fraud, which is different. On the face of it, if everything is arm's length, everything is pakka, then no problem. See, the son is studied, let us say the son is studied in Harvard and he is a knowledgeable person having extreme experience in running companies abroad. He is coming to India to take out this company. Good, sir, we need leaders like him, nothing wrong. But suppose that fellow is a 10th standard fail and drunkard, but because he is son of MD, we are making him joint managing director. That is not good for the company. But this cannot be mentioned anywhere. So that the investigation has to be done by the shareholder only as to whether this fellow is qualified. Even there, when you are talking about MD and all, they will ask for qualification, background and all that. Someday it will be very clear. When you see the biodata, you will understand that fellow is of no use all the time. So in case you do not disclose any benefit accruing to the promoter as a result of non-disclosure or insufficient disclosure should be refunded by him to the company. Okay. Now we will move on to another interesting topic, which is Quorum. Quorum. Carrom. Quorum is a board game. Quorum is the minimum number of persons required to constitute and transact business at a meeting. I'm not joking. In one ACS class, long ago, about 17, 18 years ago, maybe 22 years ago, I gave a test after the class. No? After 5 days of class, I will have one test. In that test, I asked, so what are the rules relating to, I didn't even ask that. What are the rules relating to quorum? Very clearly spelled in the question itself. But our friend is writing Carrom, C-A-R-R-O-M. Carrom. I said Carrom is a board game. Quorum is the minimum number of persons required to constitute and transact business at a meeting. Okay. Now the quorum is number. So you have to be very clear, minimum number. Okay. So before that, you should understand one thing. A member can attend a meeting. A member can attend a meeting either in person or through proxy. Either he can come in person or he can send somebody on his behalf called proxy. Now, when he attends in person, he is personally present. When he sends a proxy, he is present through proxy. Please understand. Don't say proxy is present. Member is present, but through proxy, not personally present. So for counting quorum, you should only consider members who are personally present. I'm repeating, I am a member. I am attending the meeting in person. Then I am personally present. I am unable to come. I send my brother-in-law who is my proxy. I am still present, but not in person, but through proxy. My attendance will be considered. But for considering quorum, proxy should not be considered. Only members personally present should be considered. So where the total number of members as on date of meeting is not more than 1,000. Not more than. So 1,000 or below, then 5 members personally present. Where it is 1,001 up to 5,000, 15 members personally present. It exceeds 5,000. It is 5,001 and above. Any number. 30 members personally present. Earlier, it was not like this. It was just 5 members personally present. For a public company, 2 members personally present for a private. Quorum for general meeting of a private company, 2 members personally present. Even if it has 200 members, 2 only. Why? Because minimum can be 2 now. So the 2 members can be present, then it is quorum. So for private company, 2 members personally present. For public company, or it is based on the scale. Up to 1,005. 1 to 5, 15. 5 and above, above 5, 30. Okay. The quorum prescribed above shall be applicable only if the articles of the company do not prescribe a larger number. Means what? If the quorum wants, if the company wants, it can, in the articles, it can say 10 members personally present for above 1,000. It can be larger, but it cannot be less. So the word personally present denotes that a proxy will not be counted in the quorum. That is, a person attending the meeting and a member will not be counted for quorum. Okay. Joint holders of shares shall be counted as a single member for ascertaining quorum. See, every time when they want count of numbers, now you have to be very clear what will happen to joint members. Different sections will give different provisions. Here, joint holders shall be counted as a single member for the purpose of ascertaining quorum. Right. Private company, section 103 will not apply unless otherwise specified. Okay. So if a private company can do away with 103. Okay. Now, in case the quorum is not present within half an hour from the time appointed for the meeting, then the meeting shall stand adjourned to the same day, same time, same place in the next week, or if that day is or such other date as the board may determine. For the adjourned meeting also, a quorum is not present within half an hour from the time appointed for holding the meeting. Members present shall be the quorum. A lot of things to be discussed in this. First point, in case it is the meeting called by requisitionist, straight away it will be cancelled. After all, you wanted the meeting. You means those requisitionists wanted the meeting. Okay, we called it. You guys are not even able to get a quorum. Why we will conduct this meeting? Meeting shall cancel. Suppose the board has called the meeting, then quorum is not present. Then they give you a chance. They say meeting will be adjourned. Stand adjourned. Stand adjourned means statutory adjournment. The minute you see the word stand, it means law. By law, it will go. No question. Stand adjourned. Where the same day in the next week or at the same time, same day, same place next week. This is how I remember it. Same time, same day, same place next week. Or to such other date and such other time and place as the board may determine. Right? So if the board wants to have some other date, they can. But if they don't mention the name, date, then same time, same day, same place in the next week. So today is Monday, adjourned, then same time, 8 o'clock, same place, whatever, same day, the same time, same place, same day, next week. Okay. If at that adjourned meeting also a quorum is not present within half an hour, then the members present shall be the quorum. Now, later on, when we read General Clauses Act, I will very clearly show you that there is a section of the General Clauses Act which says words indicating the singular includes the plural. So, words indicating singular include plural and plural include singular. So, members include member. So, the word members is used. Therefore, even a single member will form a valid quorum. Also, the another word which is used is present. It does not say personally present. Here it says personally present. Here it says present. Therefore, even a proxy will be counted in the adjourned meeting. So, please listen to me carefully. Where a meeting is adjourned for want of quorum, then a proxy will be counted for quorum. A single member can be counted as quorum. Hello, a single proxy can be counted as quorum because words members present. So proxy can be counted single member. So single proxy can be counted. So a single proxy attending on behalf of a member will be counted as quorum and meeting can. Okay, so this is a very extraordinary, right? So, move on. Quorum shall be present throughout the meeting. This is according to Secretarial Standard 2, prescribed by the Institute of Company Secretaries. Mandate, hurry, so you cannot, it is binding. Abe Limited has 2,300 members, and the AGM of the company is to be held on 23rd February 2019 at 10:30 a.m. On the day of the meeting, 18 members were personally present by 11 a.m. and the chairman proceeded with the meeting. So, 2,300 members, annual general meeting, 23rd February, 10:30 a.m. So, 11 a.m., 18 members personally present. Chairman proceeded. There were 5 items plus special business to be discussed at the meeting, and by 2:30 p.m., agenda 1 to 3 had been discussed, and appropriate resolutions were passed. However, due to some emergency, 4 of the members had to leave around 3 p.m. The chairman granted them permission and proceeded to discuss 4 and 5 and pass resolution. Now, whether the meeting is properly convened. Now, first of all, let us see what is the quorum. 2,300 members. So, where does it come? Above 1,000, less than 5,000. So, I need 15 members. I'm having 18 members. So, which is good. So, at the time of beginning of the meeting to agenda 3, quorum was present. Those items are valid. Now, at exactly 3 p.m., 4 of them went. So, 18 minus 4, 14. Now the quorum has fallen below 15. Of course, 2,300 will become 2,296 or whatever. But whatever it is above 1,000, less than 5,000. So still I need 15, whereas I've got only 14. Got the point? Therefore, quorum was not present for 4 and 5. Therefore, 4 and 5 invalid. The resolution passed for 4 and 5 invalid. This is very, very important, because according to the so-called Secretarial Standard 2, quorum shall be present throughout the meeting, not only at the commencement. Okay. So an EGM of Bugant Limited, an unlisted public company, was held on 15th March 2022. At 11 a.m. The company has 6,500, more than 5,000. So 30 members. We need 30. So 30 members. About 12 members in person, about 100 proxies are assembled. The proxies claim that the meeting has a valid quorum. Is it correct? No. The chairman refuses on the ground that the quorum is not present. Who is correct? Chairman is correct. Quorum is not present because only 12 members in person. I need 30 in person. 100 proxies. Now, what will happen? What are the legal consequences? At 11:30 a.m., the quorum is not present. Therefore, the meeting shall stand adjourned to the same time, same place next week. And on that day, if the same 12 guys come and proxies come, then the members present shall form a valid quorum. Even though only 12 are there, proxy can also be counted then. At that time, proxies can be counted. Valid. Quorum is valid. Okay. Now, adjournment is when meeting is called and held, and during the meeting, we decide to have it, we transfer it to another date. We decide to push it to another date, continue it on another date. We have called for a meeting, and before the date of meeting, we say, meeting will not be held on that day due to some issue, it will be held on some other day. Cancellation is when a scheduled meeting is not held, but you can't just like that cancel a general meeting once called. Please. No, board doesn't have the power, except act of God, of course, pandemic, tsunami, whatever. So we already saw an adjournment, statutory, non-statutory. Whenever you want, you can adjourn. Sine die means without specifying the date. The chairman can say, we will hold the meeting. If the meeting is adjourned sine die, then notice has to be given fresh. Also, that in the meeting, we can say when that next will be held. Then no need for notice. But provided, it should not be beyond 30 days is a rule. Suppose I mention a date which is 30 days beyond, then again notice has to be given. 21 days notice. Okay. Proxy we already saw. Proxy is the person who is attending the meeting on behalf of the company. That instrument by which he is appointed is also called proxy. Okay. Proxy the main thing is proxy will not be counted for quorum. Remember, the form of the appointment of proxy shall be in form number MGT 11. Proxy should be filed with the company at its registered office not later than 48 hours before the meeting. See, if it is deposited 48 hours before the meeting, it is valid. Suppose in your articles you are saying it should be deposited 72 hours before the meeting, then that provision shall have effect as if 48 has been specified. The articles of Ultima Software, their proxy should be deposited 72 hours prior to the meeting. Sushil has been appointed as proxy for Shekhar Verma to attend the AGM to be held on 22nd July 22 at 10 a.m. He deposited the proxy form with the company at 9:30 a.m. on 20th July 22. The MD of the company is the opinion that the proxy is invalid. See, even though the article says 72, even if you deposit it before 48 hours, it is enough. That way, Sushil has deposited it well before 48 hours. 9:30 a.m. on 20th July. Meeting on 22, 10 a.m. So, well before 48 hours. Therefore, valid. 72 hours will not be valid. The articles should read as it is 48 hours. A proxy shall not have the right to speak at the meeting and shall not be entitled to vote except on a poll. That is, proxy cannot vote on show of hands. See why? Simple. I am a proxy for 5 people. I'm a Ravana that I have 10 hands that I can raise all? No. 1, 2, I can raise both my leg also 4. So, because of physical impossibility and logic, the British have very clearly said proxy cannot vote on show of hands. But he can demand a poll. And that is the beauty of it. Once a proxy demands a poll and a poll is called, then 1 share, 1 vote. Should the proxy be a member? No, a proxy need not be a member. Okay. But sometimes a member of a company registered under Section 8 shall not be entitled to appoint any other person as his proxy unless such person is also a member. This is only for Section 8 companies. Rule 19. Other than Section 8, a proxy need not be a member. Why for Section 8 they give this exception? Because Section 8 is basically a non-profit organization. So third parties should not be allowed. So they say, if you don't want to come, appoint another member to come. But member can also be appointed, right? A person can act as behalf of not exceeding 50 members, holding in the aggregate not more than 10% of the total share capital of the company carrying voting rights. So a person can act as proxy on behalf of not exceeding 50 members. When you count the total share capital, it should not be more than 10% of the total share capital. Okay. A member holding more than 10% of the total share capital of the company carrying voting rights may appoint a single person as proxy. Such person shall not act as proxy for any other person or shareholder. So, there's a meeting proposed for attending the meeting of Ultima Software Solutions Limited to be held at Thiruvananthapuram on 22 July 22. Okay. In respect of the following members holding share capital as mentioned against the respective names. So, Sushil Menon is to be appointed by Achyut Menon, Anant Vasudevan, Keshav Guru, Narayan Unni Nair, Shekhar Verma. Their percentages are given. Now, can Sushil be appointed? See, Sushil can be appointed on behalf of not exceeding 50 members, but they should hold in the aggregate not more than 10%. So, let's keep counting. Achyut Menon 1, Anant Vasudevan 2, Keshav Guru 2, so 1, 3, 5, 5 plus 5, 10. Narayan Unni Nair. With Narayan Unni Nair, it stops. Because if Shekhar also wants to appoint, then there is 12%. So, Shekhar can appoint only one person, and that one person should not be proxy for anybody else. So, now there is a choice. Either Shekhar Verma appoints Sushil Menon, 12%, no problem. Or Sushil can be for 1, 2, 3, 4. But Shekhar Verma should find somebody else. This is the answer. because there's a dual condition. 50 members, together the shareholding should not exceed 10%. If one guy is exceeding 10%, then he can appoint a single person, but such single person cannot be a proxy for it. Right, sir? So voting again, as I told you, can be by show of hands or on poll. Polling means, I told you, the sheet will be given where you have to for or against. On a poll, one share, one vote. Okay, extension of poll. See, poll is on a paper, physical. Electronic means is where you have a hyperlink, you follow it, you go there, password, user ID, password, you go in and you give the voting on screen. Postal ballot is similar, except that instead of going in person to the meeting and taking the polling sheet will be sent to you by post. And you will vote, seal it, and send it back to the company within 30 days. In all cases, a person called scrutineer should be appointed. Chairman will be there. The scrutineer will count, announce the result, keep the ballot carefully. That usually the scrutineer will be always a company secretary or a responsible person, ideally a company secretary will have it. So this is with regard to meetings. Yes, definitely you may want to have more queries and all. In case you've read the material or you have listened to the longer lecture, you may have some doubts also. You are at liberty now to raise doubts. For the next 5 minutes, I'm willing to take doubts. Yes, you can ask me any doubts. So if you have any doubts, kindly ask me now. Yeah. Anybody having any doubts? You want to ask me? On the query pad, I saw a few doubts. AGM shall be held once in every year, financial or calendar year. Whenever they use the word year, it always means calendar year. Okay, sir? Remember, sirf year. Whenever they say year, then it always means calendar year. Okay? January to December. What if there's a majority of members but who doesn't have majority of paid up capital, whether it constitute company, majority of members, who doesn't have majority? That's a good question. Suppose the company does not have share capital, then one man, one vote. So majority of member is enough. But suppose the company has share capital, it is not enough if they are majority in number. They should also be holding majority of the paid up capital. So it's a good point you're making. You are refining my definition. I appreciate that, but that will make it very complicated. Therefore, I'm restricting it to majority. When I say majority, I mean the correct majority. Means if it is a company limited by share capital, members holding majority of the shares, paid up share capital. Okay. It's a good point, but very well made. But if I change my definition, the simplicity of the definition will be lost. So long as you have understood the word majority, I'm so happy, sir, because majority is important. And whether if it's a members, if a show of hands, it's a simple majority. Poll, one share, one vote. So majority means people holding majority of the paid up share capital. Okay, good point. So I thank you for a wonderful support and participation. In case you have further questions, do feel free to send queries through the query pad or whatever. And thing. Is chairman of meeting separate from chairman of company? Good question. See, the concept of chairman of company is not there now. But still, if you want to have a chairman of the company, no problem. For example, many companies have MD and chairman. Chairman is the valid position under the Companies Act. The chairman is one of the key managerial personnel. Now, the chairman will be, ideally, the chairman should be a non-executive director. Or the chairman should be a non-executive director. He should not be a whole-time director. His job is normally to chair the meetings of the board. So, normally the chairman of the company would also be the chairman of the board meeting, but not automatically. At the board meeting, the board of directors of a company can elect a chairman. Similarly, at the general meeting, the members from amongst themselves can elect a person as the chairman. That person need not be the chairman of the company. So to answer your question, is chairman of meeting is separate from chairman of company? Yes, it is. They are separate. They can be the same, but not necessarily. Members can elect somebody from so long as the majority of members are selecting him, then that person will become the chairman of the meeting. Right. Thank you. If there are no other questions, I will call it a day. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Ashok ji, bye. Yeah. Good night, sir.